Hello and welcome to episode 97 of the Life in General podcast. My name is Nick.
My name is Ian.
And yes, I said 97 because episode 96 was famously lost from last week.
Yes,
and I do apologize for that. And I will, hopefully you hear this episode.
If you don't, I'm going to fire you.
And I felt really shitty about it because it ended up being a really good episode, I felt like. And I don't know, Ian, if you did you listen to it
Not yet?
So I took episode 95, which was our music episode, was really fucking long.
It was pushing 2 hours.
Yeah, it was almost 2 hours long. So I guess in hindsight, it wasn't really that big of a deal for us to lose episode 96.
Right, 'cause we just split it up.
I split that episode in half. So if you actually listen to episode 96, which is actually the second half of episode 95,
right.
I do this little intro to the episode. I talk about the fact that I had screwed up and somehow deleted the
Well, I can tell you
file.
this. Whatever you did, it was not confusing to my dad. Because I was talking to him today, and he's like, so you're recording 97 today, huh? It's like, yeah, but depending on how you look at it.
Well, because when you look...
He wasn't confused by it.
Because when you look at the file, it says episode 96.
Does it? Okay.
Because it's numbered that way through Podbean.
Okay.
And then it says...
I think he's listening to it on Apple.
Regardless of how you listen to it,
Yeah.
because the feed comes out of Podbean. So whatever device you pick, whatever podcatcher you use to listen to the show, it's going to be listed as episode 96.
Gotcha. Well, that's fine. As long as it doesn't matter to me. I mean, we're kind of over the whole numbering of it anyway.
Yeah, well, I kind of figure after 100 episodes, we'll just kind of drop the whole numbering thing altogether.
So
but
another episode.
Yeah. So, but yeah, going back to what we had talked about, it was just it was a really good episode. We talked about it was an interesting topic. We talked about alcohol and adults need to consume it in social settings and
non-social settings as well.
So I'm sure we'll probably
Touch that subject again.
It's, somewhere down the line, maybe sometime next year.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it again. But and I'm assuming Ian probably won't have notes for that show either. Just saying, because he doesn't have notes for the show today. So
you know what? I have enough. I know what I'm going to say.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, let me do my little intro here. So
Do your intro. God damn it. Do your intro. How are they supposed to know where to find us? And he sent us emails, Nick.
Ian, do you know where to email us at?
Yeah. You're about to tell us.
What's our email address,
I
Ian?
don't fucking know. I don't email us. I don't need to. It's my show.
Any questions or comments, you can email us at contact
Life in General.
lifeandgeneralpodcast.com.
Yeah. See, I knew it.
What's our Twitter handle, Ian?
It's something at Twitter. I don't know, Nick.
It's at
I don't care enough.
at LIG Pod. See, people, this is what I have to fucking deal with all the time.
I'm not a social media person.
Lazy bastard.
It's not laziness.
Lazy
I'm not a social media person.
I just give you shit.
Yeah. I am lazy. I should point it out. I am fucking lazy.
But the show's on Podbean, iTunes, Google Podcast, TuneIn Radio, YouTube. Check out our YouTube channel.
Yeah, definitely.
We're on Spotify. We're getting a lot of hits on Spotify lately, so that's cool.
Well, that's how I actually know. I listen to Podbean.
Let's do it. Yeah.
But I think I'm following it on Spotify because I'm on Spotify.
But yeah, we've gotten quite a few lessons from Spotify lately, so that's cool. If you're listening to the show through Spotify, thanks for checking it out.
Absolutely.
So we do have a topic this week.
Yes.
So do you know what our topic is, Ian?
It is. We're going to talk about our favorite binge-worthy shows.
Correct. But before we get into it, there is a couple things I want to talk about.
Yeah, there's a little side subject.
I don't have any notes written down for this. I probably should actually look this up. But Ian, do you know who Don Cherry is?
I do. He's an announcer for CBC hockey.
Yeah, so he always does. Well, he's not like written announcer. He does like commentary in between periods.
But he used to be a commentator. No.
Well, he
right?
used to be a coach.
Okay.
He was a coach.
I've only ever known him as like the guy that like talks before the game and during the game, like gives like insight and stuff.
So he
like
talks. So he does Coach's Corner, which is this little segment in between the first and second period.
Okay.
Is what he's always done on Hockey Night in Canada.
Yeah.
He's been doing it for
forever
and ever. Since
I was back in late 90s, early 2000s when you were always watching the Avalanche games and stuff.
Yeah.
He was always on there, so.
I mean, I remember
even before that
watching hockey in the late 80s, early 90s,
right.
and he was doing it then. So so he got fired last week. And he's kind of
And he got fired because he said something that was considered to be inappropriate. I don't know what he said.
I'm trying to find.
I need to know what he said because I
don't remember.
My instinct is to side with him because we live in this cancel culture where someone says something and it's taken out of context and.
So Don Cherry, first and foremost, Don Cherry has a history of saying very inflammatory, borderline racist things.
Okay.
So this
I don't know. I didn't know that either.
This is not new. He's been in trouble multiple times before.
Okay.
And I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but there was, and I don't remember the name of the holiday. I don't remember if it's like Remembrance Day or something like that.
It's a Canadian holiday though.
It's a UK holiday because Canada's part of the UK, and they buy little poppies and they
it's for we do it here in the States too. We sell the veterans.
Yeah. So it's like
poppies.
Veterans Remembrance Day. I remember
World War I.
Yeah, I remember exactly what they call it. But he made a comment, and Don Cherry has specifically made comments about immigrants before.
Okay.
So he was talking during Coach's Corner, and he made and he said, and like I said, I watched the video of it. I don't remember exactly word for word what he said, but it was something along the lines of those people talking about immigrants come here and they don't respect our culture and they don't respect veterans. They don't have the decency to buy poppies or anything like that. And that's kind of what he got in trouble for.
Okay.
It was borderline racist. If it was, if it came,
it's all in how he said it too. I guess
it absolutely was. If you watch the video of it, it's even worse than.
Sounds worse when he actually says
yes.
that.
Yeah, and he even came out. He didn't apologize for it, but he did come out and say that he.
I just read something.
Chose
that
the
says he
used poor language.
Yeah, but he was defending the veterans. He says whatever I said, I was doing it to support the veterans.
Yes.
So, which, in his way, he probably was, but.
So I think it's kind of funny that everyone automatically jumps to his defense.
I don't think that's the case, though. I think.
Oh, absolutely. If you go on,
not in general. I mean, we live in this culture where yes, what he said was wrong. But is what he said is that something that's
while you're talking, I'm going to see if I can look it up.
I'm just asking: is someone who's been in this business for, we'll say, damn near 30 years, should he lose his entire career over saying this? Is this something that's worth him losing his career over? That's the question I'm going to ask. Is it wrong? Yes, but
I would say if it wasn't for his history, if this was Joe Smith,
he would have lost his job anyway.
I don't know if he would have. It's the fact of it's
because he's high profile.
It's his history that he's had. It's the history of these kind of derogatory, dog whistle kind of us versus them kind of thing that he's done multiple times before.
Okay, well, what's the difference between this and what he said before then? Because let's face it, he's not a young kid.
He's 80. He's mid 80s,
and I know. People might disagree with me, but there is the idea of old dogs and new tricks. They don't really work. It's hard to change the thinking of an 80-year-old man.
Yeah.
And if they've let it slide in the past, at this point, after 30 years, is this so bad that he should lose his job? And is this worse than anything he's ever said before? You know what I mean? I'm not defending him for what he said. I'm just asking. Are we truly in a place in this world where our sensitivity to words and things is so intense, whether it's right or wrong? Because I'm not agreeing with anything he said, and I'm not defending what he said. I'm just saying, are we that fucking sensitive where people have to lose their jobs because they say something?
And that's why I wonder if it was somebody else, would it have gotten to that level? Because really, it's
I think I agree with what you're saying. I'm thinking it in the other way. Because of his stature, because of his age, we should let it slide more.
No, we shouldn't. Absolutely
not.
And
slide in the sense of him not losing his fucking job, his entire career.
Really, he should have retired a long fucking time ago, right. As it is.
Well, then they're saying he's not even going to be eligible for the Hall of Fame. I just read a headline.
No.
So, but say
that won't affect
this
anything.
One statement does, though. Would that be a fair thing? Would that be legitimate?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, and I said, I don't know if
I wouldn't. I agree with him being fired.
Well, and this I'm not sure if I do.
I do. It's just because it's like I said before. It's not. This isn't like a one-off.
Right.
This is 20 years of.
But why now? Why not 20 years ago? What's changed?
It was more accepted 20 years ago, I would say.
But you say he got in trouble for it.
He did, but he didn't. I think to a certain extent, I would say that the network that he was on almost kind of created.
Well, CBC is public. It's like the BBC,
so,
right?
but he's not through CBC. He's actually through Sportsnet.
Okay.
So Sportsnet's a private company.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is, if he was with CBC, and it is a public controlled, I think it is.
I don't know if CBC is.
It might not be, but it
might not be. I'm not sure.
It's hard to say. But if it is, I would say it would be more likely he should lose his job because he's being paid by the public, including the people he's offended. But where if he's working for a private company, then it's up to them.
But what I'm saying though is I think Sportsnet has profited for the last 20 years off of his antics.
Right.
And that's kind of where I can kind of take his side a little bit,
right,
is because they've let this go on for so long.
Right.
Why now?
Right. That's what I'm wondering. If this,
but I still don't have a problem with him losing his job because it should have happened a long time ago because he said much worse things than this.
But that's my point. Then why now? Why now? What's going on in our society now? Because you can't deny that there is an issue with this cancel culture that we live in.
I would
where
say
everyone's afraid to say anything, where no one's allowed to have. There's nothing wrong. We cannot. If you want to live in a country or a society that allows free speech, you have to allow the bad shit too.
I think we're at a point now where it's probably been the least popular that's ever been to bash on immigrants.
Fair enough. And I'm not saying you should.
Especially when you're in Canada and you're part of the UK. With everything that's gone on with Brexit and all that.
Right.
I think if he works for ESPN and this happens in the United States, he doesn't lose his job. I think in Canada, the culture, especially with, like I said, with everything that's gone on with Brexit in the last couple of years, they're hypersensitive to the whole immigrant situation.
Well, then they shouldn't elect the Tory party and people Boris Johnson.
I understand that. I understand that.
That's where the sensitivity. That's where it bothers me.
And Canada didn't elect him.
I understand that. Because he's not the Prime Minister of Canada. But my point is if you don't like these negative things, why do these people keep putting negative people in power and allow it to happen here, but not let it happen over here?
No, I agree.
When you've got, Boris Johnson, who's the Prime Minister of Britain, or fucking Donald Trump here, saying whatever the fuck they want with no consequences, but you fire a fucking sportscaster for saying the same fucking shit. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make any sense because you're punishing the little people, but not the people.
Sportsnet can't fire any of those other people.
Would they if they could? You're right. It has nothing to do with it. And for what it's worth, whether I agree with it or not, if it's a private company, they have the right to make that decision on their own.
Yeah, Sportsnet is not a public company.
Right. Well, even if it was, I would even be more accepting of it being a public company because now you have to represent the public as a whole on your network.
But you were asking about the whole freedom of speech thing, and that's something where when you are at your job.
Right. No, I know where you're going with that.
Do you have freedom of speech? Yes. Do you have freedom of repercussions of your speech? No.
Right.
When you choose to say things, and this is not something new for Don Cherry.
Right.
When you choose to say things that are inflammatory,
I'm not disagreeing with that.
It's something. It's a risk that you're taking.
I agree, and
that's the way I look at it. Look, would I be equally upset had they not fired him? No.
Right.
I guess I'm kind of really indifferent. I agree that they fired him. If they didn't fire him,
you wouldn't have been bothered.
I wouldn't have been bothered by it either because it's been going on for so long.
Right.
And like I said before, Sportsnet has kind of fed into it, and they've profited off of this.
Right.
And they've publicized him this way.
Mm-hmm. Which to me is like letting your child get away with whatever they want for 5 years, and then all of a sudden, no, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
It's it's just as much their fault if that's the case. I guess my
But the other
concern
thing is
is just you're right. Nothing you said was wrong because when you're at work.
Nothing I ever say is wrong.
Oh, really? Nothing you just said was wrong. Let me make sure that's emphasized. Nothing you said just now was wrong. However, I think we are in a state on a social level in this country and possibly in the civilized world where it's getting harder and harder for people to express any ideas, right or wrong, good or bad, because you can't have free speech and have it one way.
So here's the thing, though.
And I understand what you're saying because there's a responsibility you have when you're at work or whatever.
If you would have said this on Twitter, I'd have no problem with it.
Right. But see, that's the thing. People are getting fired from their job because of things they're saying on social media,
and that's not right.
But you run the risk of it setting a precedent. Again, I don't have a problem with them firing him either. I don't think I would have made that decision.
Yeah.
I would have said, look, all right, at this point, we don't live in that climate anymore. You need to change, and from this point on, you do not talk like that anymore.
And here's the thing: would it change your opinion if that conversation had happened before, the last time that something happened, and they said, "Look, Don, the next time something goes down, you're going to lose your job."
If that conversation had happened,
because I don't know if it did or didn't.
Right. If I knew that conversation had happened, you're absolutely right. But I'd be like, he knew. He knew.
But what I'm seeing on social media, because of the show and things like that, I'm on a lot of social media, and I've been kind of following this, at least social media wise, for the past week, and I would say well over 90. Probably 95, 97% of all the comments on social media has been in 100% support of Don Cherry.
Okay.
And part of me is like, well, how much of those people are supporting him or supporting him because of what he said?
Well, that's a good question and again, that's what another.
And what I mean by that is it just racists that are following him or supporting him?
Well, that's the downfall of freedom of speech. That's the negative that comes with it. When you have the dogs are barking.
Dogs are barking.
When you have a society that allows free speech, you have to allow the bad. You have to allow the KKK to have a fucking rally, despite how disgusting it is, and the neo-Nazis. You have to allow that.
Yeah.
Regardless, and it sucks, but you can't have it. You can't have it both ways. You have to have it one all or nothing. And you're right. We don't know that. For all we know, it could be as high as 80 or 90% of those people feel that way, agree with what he said, and that's why they're supporting him.
Well, a lot of people, that's what they said, that they completely agreed with him.
Right.
So I mean,
that's the problem. But that's again.
But I was just shocked. I was shocked by the sheer volume of people that supported it.
Right.
I knew a majority of people, social media wise, would, but it was. A lot of the threads, it was hard to find somebody that didn't agree with it.
Right.
That didn't agree with what he said.
Right. I guess it just depends. And there was an article I read about this quote that someone had put in there. It was their yearbook quote that they put in.
Uh-huh. And
how it got through to the yearbook, it didn't say, but it was somewhat derogatory towards Jesus. But not. It wasn't like obscene, but it was a joke that could be taken as obscene or derogatory or blasphemous, and he got in trouble for it.
Okay,
and it was going to be removed. But there were other posts in there saying nice things about Jesus. So what's the difference? And I guess
think there's a big difference.
But it wasn't. The quote wasn't bad. It was just a joke.
Okay.
So what's the difference between someone saying Jesus is great and someone saying Jesus isn't so great?
So what you're saying is you're offended when people say nice things about Jesus.
No, what I'm saying is
because it's very different things.
Why can't you? If someone says something,
I think you can talk without being derogatory towards other people.
I'd have to find it wasn't mean. It was just a fucking joke.
Okay, but I mean,
it wasn't mean.
Even jokes can be taken out of context. They can be interpreted differently. My point is, depending on what it is. Mm-hmm. I would agree with it being taken out.
I don't, because if you have it one way, that's what I was getting. That's the point I was making. Is we're getting to this point where everything has to be nice and agreeable.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying you don't. in something like that,
let me see if I can find it.
You said it was a school yearbook?
Yeah, high school yearbook.
Especially
seniors. They're 18 years old.
Something like that, you don't need to have something that's
let me see if
outwardly negative towards somebody else's beliefs.
It wasn't.
I don't think it's.
But it wasn't towards any specific person. It was a fucking joke.
But that's what I'm saying, though, is I'd have to see what it was.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it. We can talk a little bit more and see what's going on, but I don't really
know. That's kind of all I had about Don Cherry. I just thought it was kind of interesting. Or not.
Well, no, it is interesting. It's this topic that we've covered before, and there is a gray area there when it comes to, with free speech. It's kind of like the gun issue, and it's about, all these other things that we deal with on a daily basis that are coming up as questions nowadays.
Yeah.
Women's autonomy, bodily autonomy, freedom of speech, gun rights, immigration. All these things just are definitely issues.
Did that happen in Georgia?
I don't remember. I'm going to see if I can find it. If it's not on this site.
It says, the quote was, "I don't know why people think Jesus Christ is coming back. He wasn't nailed to a boomerang."
Yeah.
I think that's... Yeah, I don't know. It's just...
Is it so bad? Really, it's not that bad. That's the quote. But what difference does it make? If someone has the right to say Jesus is awesome, someone can call him a boomerang. What difference does it make?
So,
it doesn't hurt anybody. That does not hurt anybody. And they take it out.
I think it's on a borderline. It just... I can see both sides of that. I can see it being taken down. I can see it not. I don't...
If now...
What's the point of that?
What's the point of any fucking high school quote?
But what I'm saying, though, is it's just... I think it's... I don't know. You, as an atheist, you're always going to see that side.
I'm using it as an example of...
You're always going to see it, because you see... Because you have an issue when anyone brings up Jesus. So you're...
I don't.
You're offended.
I'm not offended.
You are. Because
I'm not.
You talk about religion more than religious people talk about religion.
That's because religious people are trying to get it pushed into our fucking government. If they would get it out of the fucking government, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
So there you go. They're trying to get the religion out of their government-funded yearbook.
They didn't take out any of the ones that said it was okay. There's nothing wrong. See, that's my point.
It's Georgia, though. It's Georgia. Fair enough. If it happens in most other states, it's probably not taken out. But it's Georgia.
My point is that there's a disconnect between what our society sees as free speech and what they're allowing as free speech.
So I think
that's the danger. I think we're crossing a line.
You're not crossing a line there.
You don't think cancel culture exists? You don't think people are losing their jobs because of shit they put on their own personal private media?
Of course they are.
That's wrong.
Is that the same as them taking a quote out of the yearbook? No. It's not. It's not like they took the kid out of the yearbook.
No, but...
They just took his quote out.
I don't know. There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. Now, if he had said Jesus is a son of a bitch, fine. I would have said, okay, maybe you're crossing the line. Or if he would have said, fuck God, sure. I would have said, maybe that's crossing the line too. But he didn't say any. He made a fucking joke.
And
there's nothing wrong with that joke.
And I kind of agreed with you to a certain extent.
Right.
When I said if that happens in 45 other states, you never hear about it.
Right. Now...
When you're talking
I didn't bring it up because I brought it up because there was a clear distinction between those who would say, thank God I graduated, and him making a joke about Jesus. There would be a clear distinction to them, but I don't see a difference.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a difference. He's making a joke and they're whatever, doing their belief thing. I'm not offended by Jesus. I'm offended when people tell me how to live my life because they believe in Jesus.
And how many people actually do that?
Mike Pence is trying to do it every fucking day.
Really? God, you talk to Mike Pence every day, Ian?
William Barr is doing it. He was at a Christian center talking, and he's talking about how this country needs to be a theocracy.
Okay.
Mike Pence does it all the fucking time. Donald Trump is doing it because it riles his base. Mm-hmm. They're all fucking doing it. I don't care whether it's going to happen, but I'm not going to stand by and let it happen.
So here's the thing, though. When I start seeing things enacted... Then I'll kind of agree with you, but nothing is being enacted. At least nothing that's not being shot down by courts. But
Well, abortion laws are they're
which have
going
been
after,
shot down by courts so far. So
yeah, but they're trying.
I know, but that's all going to change in the next election anyway. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah.
So
well,
so we actually have a
thing.
topic for today.
Well, real quick, another thing is getting shot down by the courts is all these states that are trying to enact childhood marriage bans. Those are getting shot down too.
Okay.
In those same states, for the record.
Well,
it's okay to marry a 13-year-old girl as long as you knock her
You
off.
just have to remember, Ian. Just remember this. In Tennessee, it's legal to marry your first cousin.
Right.
All joking aside,
all joking aside, why is that still a fucking state? We don't need them. They're bringing us down, man.
Tennessee, well, I mean, Tennessee, I'm sure they provide something.
I don't know what.
Cotton. I guess we get cotton from Tennessee.
We have synthetics now. We don't need
true.
cotton.
That's true. I don't know. So
they
I guess
don't offer anything. There's nothing good.
I was going to say country music, but then that kind of plays into my argument that they don't provide anything good.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and I would say there's good country music that comes from other places anyway. Alabama, we don't need them. You said that yourself.
Yeah, that's one of those. I don't know.
There's about 6 or 7 states I would say we could just get rid of.
Didn't we just have this conversation at work not too long
No,
ago?
we had it over text.
Oh, that's right.
Because you had mentioned something about Alabama.
Oh, no. You said something about getting rid of Florida, and I'm like, no, we got to keep Florida.
It was that same conversation.
We have to have some level of crazy.
Nah, we still got Ohio. That's what I said. We still have fucking Ohio, man.
Is Ohio the Florida of the North?
It can be, yeah. I honestly think it might be. It's Ohio.
I don't know. I don't remember.
It's not as bad as Ohio. It's Florida.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because Ohio's never had, like, zombies. Zombies eating the faces off of homeless people.
They weren't zombies. They were just high on bath salts.
I don't think it was bath salts.
That's the one that I heard about was bath salts.
So the one guy that was attacked had his face eaten off. Toxicology reports came back, and he didn't have bath salts or anything in his system.
Well, there was something mentally wrong with him.
Yeah,
he wasn't a real zombie.
Obviously, yeah. Well, I don't know. He ate that. Did you see the picture of that guy's face?
Yeah,
he literally ate his face off.
Yeah,
even ate one of his eyeballs.
Huh? Maybe he's hungry. I feel
a hell of a meal.
Yeah,
tastes like chicken.
Oh Jesus. Speaking of chicken, just a little side. Have you been hearing about all this violence over the Popeyes chicken sandwich?
No.
Yeah, a guy was stabbed because they took the chicken sandwich away and they brought it back. Popeyes did.
I think Popeyes is overrated.
I've never had it. I've never had any Popeyes.
I had it when we lived in the South.
But apparently they brought back this chicken sandwich and like people are lining up for the shit.
Uh-huh.
And this guy cut in line and another guy stabbed him for it.
Oh, geez.
And then another fight broke out over it in a drive-thru in California. The first one I don't think was in California. The second one was like in California.
That's crazy.
People are fighting over this goddamn chicken sandwich.
Yeah, it's really overrated. I think Chick-fil-A's chicken sandwiches are far better than
that's
Popeyes.
what I've heard other people say the exact opposite.
No, man. Chick-fil-A.
I've never had Chick-fil-A either, but I will never give my money to a Chick-fil-A.
They got good food.
I don't care.
They got.
I won't give my money to Chick-fil-A.
They got really good like spicy chicken sandwich.
If I didn't know what their political views are and where they donated their money, it wouldn't bother me.
Yeah.
But the fact that I do know, I'm not giving them my fucking money. I'm sorry.
It's kind of like me and Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, same thing. I won't shop at Hobby Lobby either. So not since I knew.
Actually, I was just talking to my daughter about that not too long ago.
Go to Michael's. You can get the same shit at Michael's.
We drove by Hobby Lobby and we had a nice long conversation about
how they feel about homosexuals and.
And
the fact that I was
talking to my daughter, so it was more along the lines of women's reproductive rights and things.
Well,
that
too.
So.
But and they also are discriminatory against hiring practices too. So
do you want to talk about what we're going to talk about?
No, yeah.
Today,
it just popped into my head about this Popeyes. I just thought it was funny. Would you ever stab someone over a chicken sandwich?
I don't know, Ian. I've stabbed you before.
Yeah,
and I've stabbed 2 other people.
But that's over. That was drunken fun.
I'm
talking about like legitimately, like
completely.
I'm going to hurt you, stab you.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Not over a chicken sandwich. Anyway.
No. So
anyway,
so we're going to talk about binge-worthy TV shows.
Yeah.
Because
get a little serious here for a second.
Hopefully, you made it through the first half an hour of the show.
Right. Yeah, it's not going to be like that anymore, I don't think.
No. There was one other thing I was going to bring up, but we've gone way too long already.
We'll bring it up next week.
Yeah. We'll talk about it next show. But so I was really kind of late to like the streaming services. Mm-hmm. And first off, if you, like there's an actual definition of binge as far as like binge watching. It is watching at least 4 episodes in a 24-hour period.
Which to me is like, that's like the bare minimum. I mean, there's most people when they talk about binging, that is like the lowest possible.
Well, most people when they're talking about binging, they're not talking about TV shows, but
well, nowadays it is. I don't think people talk about binging the way they used to.
Binge drinking?
Yeah. Which, for what it's worth, I mean, I'm sure there's still people who binge drink, but most of the time binging is television shows.
So, I mean, it probably wasn't until, I would say probably in the last couple of years that I started getting into, or at least watching streaming services.
By the standard of binging, I've been binging for years, for probably close to a 10 or 12-year period, because I was binging DVDs, because I'd buy seasons of TV shows on DVD, and I would binge by the same standard. I would never watch less than 4 episodes in a sitting, so I would say I've been binging for 12 years.
Yeah, and you're probably right.
But streaming service-wise, probably the last few years.
I mean, I probably didn't start really watching. It probably started when I moved back from Tennessee, so it was 2015. I bought all 10 seasons of Friends off of iTunes. And that's really when I started binging watching shows. Because Friends is one of those shows that I can always watch.
Yeah, and unfortunately.
And I'd say I go through, at least the last couple of years, I've gone through the entire series at least once a year.
Right. I'm just about done with my first complete straight through run through.
Yeah.
Of course, I've seen every episode more than once each. Going even back to when it was, being broadcast. But
it's been 15 years?
Well, it's been off the air for it's been off the air for 15 years.
That's what I thought.
So 25 years since it started.
That's crazy.
I fucking believe that. And I was watching it back when it was new. I think I probably wasn't watching it the first few seasons.
No,
but probably by maybe the 3rd season, I was probably watching it somewhat regularly on TV if I wasn't working.
Yeah.
So.
I know we watched it all the time.
Right. But yeah, this is my first literally straight through every episode back to back.
And it's one of those shows. Friends is one of those shows that even 15 years later, it's still.
I still laugh.
I know, and it's still relevant
for the most part.
For the most part,
yeah.
There's not a lot of things that you're like, ooh. Like I just got done watching That 70s Show. I binge watched the whole series. 8 seasons. I just finished up probably last month watching all those. And there's quite a few episodes where you're like, ooh, and
that came
that's really bad.
And that was after Friends,
it was.
But I think
there's a lot of anti-homosexual stuff.
But see, it's taking place in the 70s, and that's how it would have been.
I know.
And there has been a lot of people, a lot of these SJW people who think that Friends is questionable on their
that doesn't
how it represents women, how it represents homosexuals. And at the time, it was progressive.
It can be somewhat derogatory towards women.
But it's derogatory towards
everybody.
When it's,
That's kind of the whole point of
I would argue that there's a lot of anti-intellectualism in there. Because Ross is made fun of for being smart a lot. And then he talks about theater and art, and they're like, nah,
But that's part of the running gag.
That's part of the running gag, and it's funny. It works. But Friends is one show I think universally, for the most part, is a binge-worthy show for just about everybody. Because
absolutely,
we work with a lot of young kids, and they fucking binge it.
Oh yeah, just go to work and mention Princess Consuela Banana Hammock. You'll get a lot of
I haven't gotten
comments.
that. I'm just shy of that episode.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think I got 2 episodes till I hit that.
Yeah,
one.
her and crap bag.
Yeah,
but anyway,
Mike just got engaged.
Yeah, so it was the all 10 seasons are available on Netflix, and it was supposed to go off of Netflix January 1st of 2019. So late 2018, when they announced it, there was this big fucking uproar about it. Everyone was pissed off. Do you know how much Netflix paid for the streaming rights?
$100 million.
$100 million. That's insane.
Yeah.
Especially since they might not have it past this year.
No, they're going to have it for, I think, till 2021 when NBC gets their Viacom, whatever.
But still, okay,
whenever
fine.
they Universal, they get their own streaming service.
So that's $100 million for 3 years.
But they're going to lose Friends, The Office, Parks and Rec all at once.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
And The Office is another one. I don't think you've gotten to it yet, but it's another binge-worthy show. I binged that on DVD though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, The Office, and I've watched most of the first season,
and the first season's the worst.
And
you
that's what everyone and everyone I've talked to always says the same thing. Yeah. You gotta. They said like season 2 and season 3 are. I think they. I was reading something that was talking about this, and they said I think they said it was season 3 was one of the best seasons on TV. Period. As far as comedy wise,
maybe. Well, I don't know. I think season 4. I like season 4 better than season 3.
Well, maybe it was season 4. It was one of those. It was one of those middle.
But
seasons.
Season 3 is, I think, when the comedy was really just
humming.
Like the humming, exactly, humming along, and it just lasted probably from season 3 to say season 5, maybe.
Yeah.
And then it did dip a little bit, just like all shows do.
So yeah, that's The Office is one of those shows I need to watch. I just haven't gotten to it. I feel like I started. I don't know. I'll start watching some things. What did I start watching? I started watching Quantum Leap.
Okay.
I got 2 seasons into Quantum Leap, or 2.5 seasons through it, and I got taken off of Hulu. So
it's on Netflix, I think,
or whatever it was on got taken off.
Okay.
Because I was like, son of a bitch.
Right. I lose
and some of those episodes are hard to watch.
Yeah. I get in periods where I'll either have to watch the show literally like I'm doing with friends and just nonstop, and I get all the way to the end and I still want more, or I get about halfway through an entire series and I'm like, man, I still got 4 more seasons to go. I don't know if I can do this right now. I need to take a break. Supernatural's the show like that. Because I watched the first 4 seasons and then I didn't watch it again. So when it was on Netflix and I finally had Netflix, I was like, oh man, it's like season 9 or 10. So I got all these seasons to catch up on. But I went back and started at the beginning just to kind of watch it through.
Yeah.
I got up to season 9, and then I'm like, now I've got 5 more seasons to go.
Oh, jeez.
And now that's 6 seasons, because the 15th season is the last one, and that's the one that's on right now. So I'm like, I still got 6 fucking seasons of this shit to watch, and that took me 2 months to get through that, or a month and a half anyway.
I watched. So a couple of years ago, I binged all the way through Friends, and then I found out that one of the services had ER on there.
Yeah, it's Netflix.
It's Netflix. Yeah, I think is it? No, I thought
it's Netflix.
Is it Netflix or Hulu?
No, it's Netflix because I tried watching it.
Oh, okay. And so I watched all 15 seasons of that.
Yeah,
and that
took
took me
hard.
Yeah, because those are hour-long, 45-minute long episodes.
I'd say they're closer to 50, actually, aren't they?
Yeah,
that was at the tail end of that.
It's somewhere between 45 and 50. But anyway, they're theoretically hour-long episodes, and there's 22 episodes a season.
Yeah.
It took me a year and a half to watch all 15 seasons.
And that's watching based on binge standards, 4 episodes in a
No,
okay.
Because I ain't got that much time in a day. If I'm going to binge a show, they've got to be half-an-hour episodes.
Right.
Because I just don't have enough time in the day to waste. I basically watch TV. I'll binge watch shows on my breaks at work.
Yeah, which is 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Or you can get an hour if you figure out all your breaks.
Yeah. So I can watch 2 episodes while I'm at work, basically.
Right.
And then here and there at home, if I can. Because a lot of shows, a lot of 30-minute shows are 22 minutes.
Right.
So I can kind of breeze through those. I don't know. What else do you binge?
Well, I can tell you all the shows I have binged.
Or some of the ones you like going back to, at least.
Oh, going back to, The Office, Friends. Some British shows I like, British mystery shows I've gone back and rewatched, binged over and over again. Those would be boring to most people, though.
British humor is a little hard to get sometimes.
Well, British drama I think people can understand a little bit better, but it's still British.
Yeah.
But Smallville, I didn't watch that live run. I binged that. DVDs. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and that's one I want to go back and rewatch because I haven't watched.
I don't think I ever watched the TV show.
It's good. It's better than the movie ever was, and for the
that's not saying a whole lot because I didn't think the movie was all that great. But
well, I guess not. For what it's worth, I think the movie's fine, but it's not as good as the TV show.
Yeah.
But it's a show that when I watched it, I binged it. Now it's on Netflix and Hulu, so I could watch it on either one.
Yeah.
And it's one I want to go back and rewatch. And then Angel, I never finished that one, which was a spinoff.
Mm-hmm.
I actually never finished that one. What else? There's a lot, actually. Heroes, I binged the first 3 seasons of that.
Yeah.
When that was on.
You haven't watched Game of Thrones yet, have you?
No. And that's one I can sit down and binge now because I can binge it all the way to the end. Walking Dead, I've been binge watched the full first season finally.
Yeah.
But that was over 3 days, 3-day period. So it's still, I think it's 12 episodes, so it's 4 episodes a night or so. And then TV shows that are on now, I tend to let them build up and then try to watch them on the streaming services that offer them for free. And when I watch them that way, I usually try to let them catch up like 4 episodes or so.
Yeah.
So that's
the
CW
backlog.
The CW DC shows would be a perfect example of those. Those are ones I still need to go back and binge 4 seasons of Arrow. That's how far behind I'm on that. 3 seasons of Flash, but I'm all caught up on Supergirl and Batwoman, but that's only been on for 6 episodes.
Yeah.
So those are, and Doctor Who. Doctor Who would be the other big one that I binge a lot. I can watch those episodes, the new series, 2005 to present, is a lot easier to binge. And there's a deal. HBO Max is going to have all the streaming rights to all the new Doctor Who.
Oh, really?
So 2003 to present is all going to be streamed on HBO Max officially.
What the hell is HBO Max?
It's not out yet. It's their streaming, their new streaming service that's coming out next year.
So you're going to have to pay for that on top of HBO?
They're getting rid of their HBO Go, I think.
Oh, is that?
And they're going to have your subscription HBO, which is the network, and then they'll have the streaming, which is separate.
Oh.
And they'll probably have some kind of bundle deal, I'm sure, but this is going to be HBO Max. It's going to be their streaming service, their Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of Disney Plus, now that it's out now, Rebels, Star Wars Rebels, and Clone Wars were heavily binged by me.
I haven't had a chance to watch anything on there yet.
Now, see, Clone Wars and Rebels would be a good one for you to be able to binge if you want. They're animated shows, but they're
what the fuck is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. Some people have a hard time with animation.
Oh, okay.
I don't. If it's well done and the stories are good, I don't care how if it's animated or not.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about it, especially Clone Wars, is it's no more childish than any of the movies. So you can watch, you kind of somewhat forget that it's animated.
Yeah.
But I've binged that. That's 6 seasons, and they got a new season starting next year, the final season, which they never finished before.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I think we talked about that before.
Yeah, because what happened was when Disney bought Star Wars, Clone Wars was on Cartoon Network, and they basically just pulled it.
Yeah.
There was 10 episodes that were already ready to be broadcast for season 6, and they ended up releasing those as like a special on Netflix. But that was it. That was the end of it. They never finished they had stories written through season 7, but they didn't finish it. So now they're going back and doing the 7th season, which will finished out the Clone Wars storyline, which is fantastic. But the first 5-6 seasons, I binged those. Rebels, I binged completely, and I'm binging Resistance. Resistance is I'm having a little bit more. That's a little bit more geared towards children.
Yeah.
The animation is good. People complain about it. I think the animation is good. It doesn't take away from it, but it is different. It's kind of a 2D/3D animation, whereas the other one's 3D animation. Yep. But as an example, that's something you could go back and I think watching Clone Wars really helps to redeem the prequel trilogy. I mean, in many ways.
I think it was Jack. I think it was Jack that used to watch it. So I've seen
it. It was on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, I've seen the episodes before.
Yeah, but as a whole, as a full storyline, it really does. For those people who kind of like the prequels but don't really like the prequels, it is redeeming of the prequels for sure. So
I was gonna say with Game of Thrones though, that's something that 8 seasons.
Yeah.
So it'll take you some time to get through that.
Yeah, definitely. And those are full-blown hour-long episodes.
Oh, yeah.
They're 55 minutes to an hour.
To an hour
whereas,
plus. Somehow.
Right. Whereas network TV shows are going to be no more than 42 to 45 minutes long.
I started watching The Ranch not too long ago, which...
My dad likes that show a lot, too.
It's really fucking good.
Yeah.
It's a lot better than I thought it was, than I thought it would be.
Does it get better from the first episode? Because I've only watched the first episode.
It does.
I wasn't really...
It
didn't
does.
do anything for me.
It gets a lot better. And then I am almost through part 7. I'm like midway through part 7. So, and I think part 8 comes out in early 2020.
Okay.
And it's not, part 7 is not as good as the first 6 parts because Danny Masters is not on anymore.
Right.
So it loses a lot of the comedy.
Yeah. That always happens when you lose a character. It's very rare that you get a new character that can live up to, or at least have the same level of chemistry.
Yeah, because they brought in Dax Shepard, and it's just...
He's a good actor. He's a
good
funny actor, too.
Yeah. The comedy's not the same.
It's just not the same, I can understand that. He's on that show on ABC where it's kind of like... I see it as like a Green Acres show.
Oh, yeah. It's with, what's the name of that?
Lake Bell is the chick on it.
Yeah, shit.
I forgot the name of it. I've watched a couple episodes. It's okay. It's a show that I would probably go back and binge because that's as another example. Another show that I probably never would watch on the network, but I did end up binging it because Hulu had it. The first season of Single Parents.
Oh, yeah.
And I ended up watching that, and I really enjoyed that show. And Superstore, which is another one, I think...
He's on Bless This Mess.
Bless This Mess, yeah. And that's not a bad show from what I've seen of it.
Yeah.
It's one I'll go back and binge when it's time. Superstore and Single Parents are shows that I came to only because they were available on streaming, and once I started watching them, I just wanted to watch them, and I watched them all the way through. With Superstore, there's 4 seasons, so I had a lot. And to me, Superstore is has a very similar comedy style mix. If you were to take the kind of some of the awkwardness of The Office and mix it with some of the more poignant, like direct humor of Friends, you would have Superstore because it's very similar to that. Because there's a lot of with Friends, it's a lot of like jab humor, and there's a lot of that on this show. But it's got that awkwardness of The Office too, which. I don't know. It's a good blend.
I'll check it out. But yeah, definitely check out The Ranch show. I thought that was really good. And yeah, you got to get through the first couple of episodes. Yeah. Because the first couple of episodes are just kind of laying out the background.
I guess. Yeah. My dad really likes Sam Elliott.
Yeah, so do I.
So
he's a great actor, and he brings a lot of comedy. Surprisingly enough.
Now, a show that my dad binges that I just can't do is he loves the show 2.5 Men.
No, I could never get into
that. But he loves that show. Him and his wife.
A lot of people binge it though.
Yeah, it's a popular show.
Why do you keep banging the table?
No, Seinfeld's another one. I
never liked the show.
I could never get into Seinfeld. No. I get why people like it. I do, but when it's on, I can sit and watch it. But it's not something I go out of my way to watch.
No,
But I never really understood the 2.5 Men show. My dad likes it. He loves that show. That's his friends as far as. Quoting and stuff like
really?
that. Yeah, he's always quoting that show. And how we quote Friends all the time.
Yeah. There was another one that I thought was really interesting is not on any kind of streaming service. First off, so Law and Order SVU is on.
Yes.
They've got all 21 seasons on Hulu.
Yep.
But the original Law and Order is not on any service, and I don't know why.
And neither is Criminal Intent, because I went for like 6 seasons.
I'd love to watch the original series.
Yeah, me too.
I used to watch it all the time.
Well, it'd be interesting to kind of go back and see that old school procedural, because that goes back to the late 80s.
Yeah.
So kind of see how it was done back in the day.
Mm-hmm. I like SVU, but it's nothing that I can watch. Over and over and over. I can't binge that. I could binge. I'd be more likely to binge the original series than SVU.
Back about 10 years ago, I don't know what network it was, but on the weekends, it's all that was on. It was literally 24 hours.
Like TNT. It
was one of those channels, and it was Law & Order, and it was all of them. It would mix it up. I seem to remember enjoying the SVU episodes better than the other ones. Sorry, I don't know why I'm pounding on the table. I seem to remember
killing me.
Yeah, I'm binging or not binging, but enjoying the last few episodes better.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand that from that perspective, but I don't understand why they don't have the other ones either. I mean, that would give them between the two shows, it would 40 some seasons of fucking shows to watch.
You're right. I did enjoy a lot of SVU until they started changing the characters up.
Right. Well, once Christopher Maloney left, it started to get different.
It really lost a lot. Yeah. And I think through all 75 seasons of the original series, it seemed like it was on forever.
It went like 20 seasons, I think.
It was regardless of the cast that was there, it was always good.
Yeah.
It was always
that's true.
good.
And I would say the casting was probably more consistent as far as that goes. But again, I haven't watched that show in so long.
Oh yeah.
Either one of them, to be honest with you. But that's probably a show that I would probably go back and binge. Criminal Minds is one I kind of go to and
I've never seen it.
It's a good show, but it's a police procedural. Every episode's tied up in a nice little bow at the end, and it's, for what it's worth, it's fine. I prefer shows that have a little bit more meat to them, but for kind of like not mindless, but where I don't have to think too hard about it.
Yeah.
That's the show I'll go to if I'm in the mood for some kind of, drama.
I think the thing that really kind of drew me to Law and Order, the original series, was, I grew up with my parents and grandparents, the people watching like Matlock.
Yeah, right.
Instance.
Yeah.
And Matlock won every fucking case.
Yeah.
You always knew he was going to win. And
you always knew who was the
that
killer.
wasn't the case with Law and Order. There was a lot of those where they lost.
Yeah, absolutely.
It wasn't always a happy ending.
For what it's worth, I used to watch Matlock with my grandmother. I liked Matlock.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was a fun show.
But you always knew it was going to be.
It was Perry Mason.
It's like House. You always knew House was going to wrap it up and solve it. He'd have like this epiphany moment, and then, there it is. And then that was the end of the show. It was always wrapped up in a little nice bow.
Yeah, exactly. And as a kid, you don't really notice that, or even as a young adult, you don't really notice it as much, because especially when you're coming into the TV the way that we did.
Yeah.
80s, 90s television. That's just how all of it was.
Uh-huh.
When come 2000s, 21st century television, TV's different now.
Yeah.
And it's in a state where you can have these drawn out, really meaty shows, much shorter in scope. They're not 22 episodes or 13, but it's meatier. There's realness to it, substance, and then you go back and you can think about those old shows in a nostalgic point of view.
Yeah.
But you just that whole, like I said, wrapping it up in a nice little bow and passing it along, just I'm over that now. I want something else.
Another show that I watched for a long time, I haven't been able to watch the last season of it yet, is House of Cards.
Yeah, I'm still way behind on that. I think I've only watched the first season. And
I watched the first 5 seasons, and the first 3 or 4 seasons are really fucking good.
It was one of those shows I watched Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I've actually finished the first season. I'm maybe 1 or 2 episodes, but I watched those first 8 episodes in one night.
Yeah.
Because that's how good it was. It was boom, I watched it, but then I was up all night.
Yeah.
And didn't watch it the next day, and then it fell off,
I got sucked into that for a while, but I haven't been able to watch the last season.
Because of the Kevin
because
Spacey
it just... So in season 5, they started kind of moving away from his character a little bit, and I think that's when the show started suffering.
Okay. Well, it's always seemed it was from his first person perspective anyway.
Yes and no. They started involving her stories into a lot more in that 5th season.
His wife?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
don't give too much away.
No, I'm not gonna.
I'm going to watch it.
I'm not. And I don't know. Now that he's not in the show, I really don't have a whole lot of interest in watching it.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey made that show what it was.
Which is unfortunate because he's a piece of shit human being.
He is. But you know what? I listen to Michael Jackson's music too, and Michael Jackson was probably just as big of a piece of shit.
Perhaps. It's not as... The jury's still out a bit on Michael Jackson, and he's not here to defend himself. I haven't watched that Neverland documentary, but people
It's bad.
But people still say he didn't do what they say he did.
I don't give a shit.
Is that bad?
It's fucking bad.
Is it?
Yeah. It's bad.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm going to go back and watch. I'm probably going to start over with, because it's been a while since I've watched House of Cards. I'll probably start it over again. I think my problem with it is because it is a political show, and politics is so toxic right now to me, in general.
But the funny thing is, it's like, I don't know, the way it plays out in the show. I don't know.
Are there mirrors to our?
Absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely.
There wasn't. To me, at least with the first season, I felt like we were kind of getting a view of American politics as it once was. Because he was an old school politician.
Yeah,
knew how to work the system, both good and bad, and
it morphs off into
what our current political. Yeah, I actually want to go back and watch the British version that inspired it.
Yeah,
it's a mini series. I think it's three separate mini series, and it's on Netflix as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. But British politics is very different. I don't understand it as well as I understand our political structure, and I don't even understand ours as well as I probably should. More than most people.
Another one that's really good is Man in the High Castle.
That's one I definitely, because now it's coming to an end.
Yeah, and I
want to see. I'm going to wait, and because I have Amazon Prime, so I can binge it now.
Yeah,
I didn't have it for a long time.
I haven't. I don't think I've seen the last season and a half or 2 seasons.
Yeah, this season that's out now. I think
because this is season 4.
5, I think.
Or 5?
I think the fifth.
I think I've seen only the first 2 or 3 seasons of it.
But that's definitely one. I've actually wanted to watch that since it started, and I didn't have Prime.
Yeah.
So now that I have Prime, I want to go back and watch it.
It's a great show to watch. Yeah. Absolutely.
There's a couple Prime shows that I really want to watch. Jack Ryan, because I was like the Jack Ryan movies. Good Omens, which I started and didn't finish, but I really want to finish that. And Man in the High Castle. Yeah. I watched the first episode of that Carnival Row, which is okay.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old. It's just too much sex. I must be getting too old.
If I'm going to watch that, I'm just going to watch porn.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I feel. It's like, do I really want to see 2 fairies fucking? It's not necessary to the storyline. You don't need to see that. But that's the old man in me talking. When I was 20, I would have been like, show more fucking. But now I'm like, too much fucking.
And then a couple of shows that I haven't watched, but I've heard a lot of people talk about them and talk about how good they are. One is Stranger Things.
I haven't watched it yet either. I really want to.
Reese and Mandy have both watched it, and they really liked it. I know Mandy watched the first season of it. I don't think she's watched anything past there.
But Reese has watched all of it.
Watched it. That and Vikings. A lot of people like Vikings also.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm into that one as much, but Stranger Things for sure. I think that's right up my alley. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
There's a couple of shows on Apple TV Plus that look really good too.
There was one I think that I just saw and I was like, man, I don't have that. I don't know if I want to add another streaming service to my bill, but I'm going to, because I'm going to end up. I still have to get CBS All Access, and I'm really thinking about getting Shudder.
Yeah, The Morning Show looks really good.
That's one of them, but there's another one.
And then there's the one with C. That's what it is with what's his name, the guy who played Aquaman.
Yeah, no, that one didn't appeal
Jason
to me.
Momoa. I thought it looked pretty good. I'm gonna watch it.
It looks well done. It just doesn't look like it's my cup of tea. There was another show though that they've got that I can't remember.
Oh no, I'm scrolling through it all right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Apple TV has a lot of other stuff on here too.
Yeah,
so.
well, it's an exclusive show. It's like they produced it.
For All Mankind?
No, I don't think so.
That's like it's called For All Mankind, but it's what would have. It's kind of like Man in the High Castle, but it's if
like
the Russians won the space race.
Oh,
yeah. So the Russians.
Well, that sounds interesting.
The Russians landed on the moon, and everything that happens after that.
Huh.
It looks really interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they could have.
I'm trying to see what else they've got. Dickinson. I don't know what this is.
I think it's that.
It's a Emily Dickinson.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Elephant Queen, Oprah.
No.
Helpsters, which is from the makers of Sesame Street. Ghost Rider.
Writer or Rider?
Writer.
Okay, that old show. Yeah, that's that Nickelodeon show that was on when we were kids.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Basically, there was a ghost that would type
Snoopy in space.
Snoopy in space. They give the kids clues to solve these little mysteries through the typewriter, and it was a ghost typing it.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Sarah, my sister used to watch that show all the time.
So I got lucky. I got a year's free subscription for Disney Plus, and I got a free year of Apple TV Plus also.
Really?
Yeah, so
All through Verizon?
no, so I got if you buy a Apple device, you get a free year of Apple TV Plus.
Oh,
I don't know what I bought, but
well, everything you have is Apple, so
yeah,
you bought something.
I got you know, it's probably my iPad Pro.
Yeah, probably.
But I got that last year, but whatever.
Yeah, I pay for my shit, but you know, I only have right now. I have just Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get CBS All Access in January because that's when Picard starts, and then like I said, I'm going back and
So I'm
forth.
gonna be stealing Ian's CBS All
Oh
Access.
really? Oh really, Mister? I get everything for free. I think you should pay for something.
Well, I do. I pay for Hulu. I got Hulu Live,
Yeah.
so I've got.
That's about $45 a month, isn't it?
I think so. I just subscribed. Just got it. I subscribed 2 or 3 months back and got it, and I just got an email last week that they're raising it to $55.
Oh really?
I'm like, you fucking bastards! You're
Right.
not adding anything. You're just charging me extra $10 a month.
I didn't get the live TV because they didn't offer it separate. You had to buy it in the bundle with the regular Hulu, but it was the non-premium Hulu. I want the premium Hulu. That's what I pay for right now.
Yeah.
That's what I have. So if I want the premium Hulu, I can't have the Hulu TV.
No.
Which is stupid.
Which I'm surprised they don't have like an extra.
Right. Just charge me the extra. I don't care. Or just charge me a fee for the TV.
Or if it's like, charge an extra $15 a month or $10 a month.
Right.
Or
Or, you know, if it's 15 for the, or whatever the cost of the non-premium Hulu is, just take that off, charge me for the premium Hulu.
Regular Hulu is what, $8?
Something like that.
Something like
So if it's $55, take $8 off of that and just charge me that.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm already paying for the Hulu that I've got.
Yeah.
So, but there's other streaming services that are offering live TV. I could get it through YouTube and others.
That's the funny thing is that then we're going to get to a point where
it's just cable again.
It's exactly.
There was an article. I didn't read the article, but
that's what we're getting to.
Yeah,
because I pay for Hulu, Netflix. I have HBO Go or HBO Now, whatever
which will become HBO Max. It'll change over,
and then Apple TV Plus. I've got.
I don't have that. Yeah.
Disney Plus. I got ESPN Plus. So I mean, how many fucking streaming services do I need?
I figure between once I have CBS All Access and if I get Shudder, between that Amazon. Oh, I forgot Amazon Prime. So I got Amazon Prime.
But I don't have Amazon Prime for the streaming.
But it's a benefit for me. I can stream. So right now I've got Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus. So I've got 4. I'm going to add CBS All Access and possibly Shudder. Between those 6 streaming services, if I can't find something to fucking watch on TV, I got a problem.
Yeah, and how much a month are you going to be paying for those 6
it's
services?
Like $65.
Exactly.
Is what I figured.
I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. But I'm getting better options than I would have gotten for cable. Because with cable, you know, I don't need 55 ESPNs, which come with packages. It's all packaged.
But the funny thing is, the ESPN TV service is not available on ESPN Plus.
Which I wouldn't have anyway.
But that's what I'm saying, though, is like I can't get regular ESPN.
You can't get the live broadcast
Correct.
ESPN. Yeah,
Correct.
that's stupid.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it's $4.99 a month, and I get a shitload of other sports.
Right.
Stuff that isn't available on the regular, because they really only have 3 channels.
Because that's it's always been my biggest problem with cable. At least even a bare minimum cable package
has a lot of shit you don't fucking watch.
I'm never going to fucking watch. So I've always said they should put together a package where you just pay for what you want.
Yeah.
That's essentially what streaming is right now. I'm basically paying for what I want.
Yeah.
And I can't see the article has said that, you know, someone's going to come up with an idea of bundling it all together. Yep. And when that happens, you're basically it's cable 2.0.
Yeah, a la carte cable basically.
Right. And you know, if it saves me money, I'll do it, and as long as I can get what I want.
Yeah.
But if I can't, I don't have a problem paying for what. If I can't afford it, I don't get it.
Yeah.
You know.
And then that's kind of the thing. The reason I went to Hulu Live is because I was paying $110 a month for Dish.
Right.
I'm getting all the channels except for one for now $55 a month through Hulu.
Right. You know, and to me, it's. I don't know. I think cable's day is done as long as it doesn't come back in that other form, which it will. Very likely will.
It will.
But the problem with that is that then you're going to start running into the same problem you're running into now with cable. Yeah. All these different cable companies are losing licensing or canceling because these other networks want to these networks want to charge more
Yep.
to let them use it.
Uh-huh.
You know, and then of course you've got Dish Network that can't get Fox anymore or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, to me, I would much rather just stream this shit anyway. Watch it when I want to, as much as I want to, and be done with it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the streaming services aren't even doing like season length releases anymore. They're releasing their shit weekly again.
Yep.
So that's going back to the network
or
model.
what they're doing. I've noticed also like they'll release 3 or 4 episodes in blocks.
Right. Which is fine with me. I'd much rather have that than the one episode a week thing.
Yeah. Because that's what the ranch does.
Is it?
Because it's 10 episode parts.
Okay.
2 parts are a season.
Okay. Right.
Because it's only 4 seasons long. They've only released 3.5 seasons of it.
Right. Which is fine. I would be fine with that as long as the one problem I'm seeing running into with certain streaming services, the series that they are releasing on a full blown like season level, some of them are taking 2 years to get out.
So, yeah, that's not good.
Mindhunter is a perfect example. It's another show I binge watched the first season when it came out, and it blew me away. I binged that season like 4 times.
Oh, really?
Cobra Kai, forgot that one too. I've watched that.
Oh, yeah, really?
The first season, the 5 times I've watched that first season. And usually I can watch that in a day. If I have a day off,
they're short episodes.
yeah,
right?
it's the whole season's 10 episodes, and they're anywhere from like
that's
25
on YouTube Red, right?
YouTube Red, anywhere from 25 episodes or 25 minutes per episode to about 33 minutes per episode. So you can sit and watch the whole season in about 5 hours. That's watching 5 episodes of an hour-long TV show.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not that bad. It's a lot when you talk about you're wasting 5 hours of a day, but some days you can get away with that.
I can't.
No, well, you did that to yourself. I don't feel sorry for you, and you'll benefit.
Damn me for trying to better myself.
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't say damn you. I say that's your fault. It's what you get for trying to be to be better than you are now.
I don't know, but that's all I had for the.
Yeah, we could talk. There's plenty of other shows that could just keep coming back to me, but I think binging is,
Yeah.
you know, I've gotten to the point. Like I said, it started with me with DVDs, and mainly DVDs.
That's where it started.
That's where it started, and to me, it's become the only way I really want to watch shows. If I want to watch a show, I mean, with the exception of those rare occasions where like I got an hour and then I'm done. Most of the time, I want to watch 2-3 hours of it, you know, or at least 2 hours. I have more time than you do, but I'm
Slightly.
I'm happy in my mediocrity. You know,
Something like that, eh?
my state of
Is that what you call it?
Well, it is. You know, mediocrity is, I think, a state where you can be better, but you choose not to be. So yeah,
Gotcha.
I would say that's me. I'm content with my state in life. So
I just know that there's a lot of stuff out there I want to watch.
yeah,
I just need to find time to
yeah,
watch some of it.
yeah. Well, and even me having all this time, there's a lot of shit I want to watch too. There's just not enough hours in the day.
Yeah.
You know?
I need the days to be like 30 hours long. That'd be great.
No, because if the days were 30 hours long, you'd have to go to school for 10 hours instead of 5 hours.
No, why is that?
Because there's that much more hours in the day.
I'd be able to get shit done though.
You're not getting. Yeah, you wouldn't get. Say we had 30-hour days. You wouldn't be getting 6 extra hours. It would still just be the same as it is now.
Yeah,
those hours have to be filled the same way they're filled now.
I don't know, but that's all I got, man.
Yeah. Like I said, there's tons we could talk about, but I think we covered the gist
bulk of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just go out there and watch whatever the hell you want, I guess.
Yeah, there's no shortage of shit to find.
There's abundance of it out there.
Yeah, like I said, if I have 6 streaming services and there's no reason I should be complaining, there's nothing to watch.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think I've uttered those words in a very long time.
Yeah, there's always something to watch.
There's always something to watch. Mm-hmm. But anyway, any questions or comments, you can email us at contact@lifeandjailpodcast.com. Check us out on Twitter and Facebook and all that other jazz. Leave us a 5-star review
6
on
stars.
on
6 stars. 6
iTunes.
stars.
Why'd you have to do it 3 times?
I don't know.
You're a
Because
Satan
I'm
worshiper.
D. I'm the devil.
Pretty much.
Lowercase d though.
You and your no notes.
Did I struggle with my conversation at all?
Yes.
Did I really? What point?
Check us out. Check out our YouTube channel also. But that's about all I got.
Yeah, I'm good.
Until next time.
Talk to y'all later.
Peace.
Play my role, let me tell you about it. This shit right here, man, I'm about it. Only real niggas reside around me. Your old lady drop a guard around me. Dip like I know you can, bitch. Show me the ropes like we in the ring. Got you two cobras, you wanna hang. Shoulder to shoulder, them niggas basic. You know I won't lie. You know that I ain't for that fuck shit. You niggas alright, but I'm way better and she love it. Know that y'all sick as fuck. Here go this tissue, bruh. We taking the dub, hoping you get you some. This hit like a pick me up. She taking my drugs. Know they see the sign. That's some dollar signs. Know they sick as fuck. Know they sick as fuck. Tell them get well soon. Tell them get well soon. Know you sick as fuck. Get well soon.
Oh shit. Watch out, you the god, Billy. Oh shit. Right now, and I'm smiling in your face, bitch. With a gold smile, you should probably make placement.